Hello everyone, this is Liwe Model. In one of my early videos, I showed you this. A 57XX pannier tank from the Great Western. This is a very old model, dates back from the 1970s and was made by Hornby. In fact, it is so old that if you look closely right here, you have one of the XO4 motor in there. Why am I showing you this? Well, turns out that last week somebody requested if I could do a video about a modern one in M scale. So the box arrived and we're gonna open it together. What I'm gonna be interested in knowing is how does it stack up in N scale versus my 00 scale one from the 1970s. I'm just gonna be curious to see what level of details we can have with a modern loco. Well, first of all, this package is very light, and I was actually surprised to receive such a big box for what is probably a very small item. And there you go, that is it. Everything else is just some paperwork. So Jake, if you're listening to this video is following your request. Okay, well, first of all, that's pretty small. So if we take a look at what is in that little tiny box, the product number is 2S-007-035. It's a pannier L99 in London Transport Red, and it works on first reader curves. So the box itself, it's a standard Dapol box. There's not much to show on here. And geez, I'm looking at a few things just through that window there, and yeah, Jake, thank you for making me buy this. By the way, Jake has its own YouTube channel. I'm gonna put a link to it down in the description, or if I can, right here. So here we go. Oh, to my surprise, we've got some paperwork with this. Lots of paperwork. Let's just put this here for now. Okay. So let's see. This model needs a light oiling onto the motion before use. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Here's a couple of information about it and where I need to oil it. I'm not even gonna try to see if that's true or not. I'm just gonna do it. Also, it seems like if you want to install a decoder in this, you lift up the cap and you put it there. Thank you. Okay, so what else do we have with this? That seems to be some warranty paper. Yep, that's what it is. This model is warranted for 2 years, which I think is pretty good. The only problem is that I'm in Canada here, and there's no place to have these repaired right here. I would have to ship it right to England. Okay, so what do we have right here? There's actually what looks like a block of ice in there. Interesting. I have to say, this is one of my first modern, brand new N-scale locomotive that's not part of a train set or anything, so I'm a bit excited by this. That's great, actually. It's a great packaging. It's like a 00 locomotive, except super tiny. Oh, okay, wait. There's pull tabs right here. Quite a snug fit. Oh, little itsy bitsy detail bag. What do we have in here? Okay, so we have what looks like to be some chain link coupling, and I wonder what this is. This looks like some drill bits of some sort, and I think that could very well be a tool. Yeah, it seems to fit on the crank pins on the red part here. So let's see. Oh, that looks great. That looks really, really good. Okay, let me get rid of that. There it is. There's quite a bit of details on this. I'm not used to modern super detailed hand scale locomotive. I don't know where to put my fingers. But let's see how much this weighs. It actually feels pretty light. 31 grams. That's actually one of the lightest ones I ever have had the chance to measure. Let me just make sure. Yeah, 33 grams. Just for comparison, here's the double locomotive right here. Yeah, give or take 200. So yeah, that's very, very small. So let's take a look at the details, shall we? Now, if we look at both, the details are actually quite similar. Although the N scale is still more details, and it does have a handrail, which the double O scale doesn't have. Let's take a close look at this here. Yeah, that looks pretty good right here. The paint is very crisp, very sharp. I can see that even this steel pipe here seems to be painted differently. There's some molded details right here, which are similarly molded here, except strangely, which a lot less details. I mean, this is a very old model also, so you can't blame it for that. So do we have sprung buffer? I don't know. No, they're not sprung. Rapido couplings. You know I like these. Yeah, vacuum pipes and everything. How's the coal? Pretty good, actually. I was gonna order it in green, but you know, since someone asked me nicely, I decided to get the brown one. And I have to say that although the culture I have of those does not allow me to know what London transport was. So if you guys can give me some details in the comments, I would really appreciate it. One thing I noted though, there's no cab floor. I mean, it's like the cab floor is actually right where the door ends. Mind you, there's a motor on this one, so yeah, that's not better. I think this actually looks clean, so I'm not gonna blame it for that. This is so small. Also, there's some glazing right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, tiny little piece of glazing. What about running characteristic right here? So we have yeah, it seems to be all-wheel drive because it has a cog on all of the axles here. There's a decent movement possible from this. Brake regains and everything. Lots of little intricate details in this part right here. But the underside of it is, well, it's just well, at this size, you just want it to work, so you do what you can to have it work. Mind you, they've put some. Not sure if you can see it here. Difficult to see on the cameras, but there's actually some representation of the suspension. Okay. So I'm just gonna put this there. I'm gonna go get some oil. We're gonna oil it, and let's try to make it run. So far, I mean, it's a really good looking little locomotive. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna use some Label 102 to oil it. If I just look at the instruction manual again, I need to oil it where all the gears are and where the connecting rod is connected to the wheels. So let's do that. So I need to see. Oh, there's a nasty fluff right here. Done. Okay, so let's just a tiny little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Put some overload. Very easy to lubricate this too much, as you've seen. I'm gonna have to wipe some of it just to make sure that I don't. Oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so seems to be prepped. Let's try making run. Again, I'm going to use the same compact oval set from Kato. So far it's been proven to be pretty reliable for me. And a very good test bed. And I'm not afraid, since this can turn on first read of curve, that it's going to have any issue with this. So let me just put this here for a sec. I'm just going to go get some power and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have connected all the tracks. This is actually pretty easy to put on the rail. There's no bogie, nothing, so there you go, that's it. You don't need to even align any single wheels. Just to give you a size comparison from the track right here. This is a Dapol model, this is the N model, so yeah. Mind you, might be old, might be not very detailed. I still love this models because it was one of my first ones. So let's see, will this work? Let's try to just, oh, it's buzzing. There you go. Try forward now. Yep, first time it runs. I'll try to put a bit more power there. It is very smooth on the straight, not so much in the curves. So I don't know if that's because my radius is very tight. Or the model works out. Let's try to give it just a bit more juice. Yeah, it hesitates a bit on the curves. Mind you, it has not been running yet, so I'll just give it some time to get accustomed to just running in. And mind you, I'm not gonna have you watch all of it because I think the performance is already improving, so I'll just give it maybe 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, so the locomotive had some times to go both forward and backward multiple times. So just to give you an idea how it is now, it is better. Let's see forward. And that's actually pretty good. However, if I reduce it to a very, very low speed, still stutter a bit in the curves, but nowhere near as bad as it was when I first opened it. So forward's not bad. However, if I go backward instead, still stutters in the curves. Now mind you, I checked a couple of things here. I do not think that I'm gonna be able to do much better than this. It's still a lot better than when it was brand new. However, I really do think that the radius of my track right here might be too tight for this. Because even if larger American locomotive like the one I'm gonna show in an example right here are able to do it, you know, pretty easily, none of them are similar to this with an 06 row with a certain amount of distance between these. So what I think happens, I think that the wheels are catching on the track itself. So I do not think that there's anything to blame on the locomotive itself. I think it's a problem with the way my layout is made right here. So for that, I wouldn't worry too much about it in your case. A bit of over lubrication that just got removed here. So now's the thing. You've already seen this. I showed it in my Not Thomas, the Not Tech Engine video. That's a wagon that came into a random lot that I got somewhere. It was the only British wagon that wasn't there, and that's actually in N-scale the only British wagon I have at all. So it's from the Great Western. Just so happened that this is a pannier tank, so I'm actually quite happy about this. Now it has a friend. And yeah, let's look at this run a bit. Okay, now it instantly derailed. Take two. Okay. Well, I guess we've just learned something else. I cannot use this with this locomotive at all on those tracks. Quick interruption from future me. During the video editing process, I couldn't believe how much it ran like garbage. So I thought I had a defective unit until I realized that the radius on the compact oval set is just 150 millimeter. Turns out that this requires a minimum radius of 228 millimeter. So what did I do? Well, I built an oval with the track that came in this set here, and that is 317 millimeter radius, which should be plenty enough. When I started to run it, it still didn't run good, so what I did I did a full run-in of the locomotive, tried to give it the best chance of performing. I also redid a full service on it, removing all the old lubrications and putting some fresh ones. So I wanted to show you the result. For this demonstration, we're going to be using the FG17 power supply that came in the Atomic starter set that you just saw, plugged to an ED55 portable power station. And I'm actually pretty pleased with the way I've set up all the wires here, so it doesn't look like a total mess. So let's start it out. So I was able to run it both an hour forward and an hour backward. So I don't see how much better I can do this. It is still stutters. So my first thought is, did I break it? Then I started thinking about it. Well, this thing is so light, and the flanges on the modern locomotive are very, very thin compared to the old ones. So if there really was something that could be broken, well, I don't think it would have broken, because the thing would just have derailed on the smaller radius curves. So now it actually is still stuttering, but it is much better after a good run-in. So this is a model where it actually made a lot of sense to just follow instructions. So if I just bring it a tad higher, because if you guys have seen the other video where I showed this power supply, it does not go all the way to 12 volts, so this is not the 50% that you would find on a normal train controller. So I'm gonna bring it to about 75%, which would equal to 50% on a regular controller, and you're gonna see it actually runs pretty good now. It's not as good as in reverse still. It still stutters sometimes, but it has improved tremendously. So let me just show you a little demonstration of it. So as you can see, it still stutters a bit, but it's nowhere near as bad as what it was before. So I think that the real culprit here is that the locomotive was not originally run in. Also, I've used a much too small oval, I guess. And the best part about it now is that I can put my little wagon behind it. So there you go. Just make sure that you do a very good run-in with that model. It should improve it. I've also read on a few forums here and there that, yeah, these models, they don't have any flywheels in them, so they can stutter here and there. Okay, now back to the regular video. On those tracks. So, what have we learned with this? Well, first of all, the compact oval set is too compact for this model. Beside this, on a straight and level track, this model was behaving very, very well. So my conclusion. Well, first, we're going to answer the question, is this more detail than this, which is a much larger locomotive, except much older? And the answer is yes, it is. It is, even though it's N scale, there's a lot more molded details, there's a lot more separately applied details, a whole bunch of little handles, like the handrails, the handles right here, the handrails around the cab. The paint is also much more crisp on this, and here it's, well, it's pretty much not painted, it's just green plastic. Yep, that's it. And also, the small box right here, it has rivets, it has a whole bunch of details, which this one, well, it's not as detailed, although it's much larger. So all in all, what do I think about this locomotive by itself? Well, I think it looks great. That's for sure, there's no question asked about it. The price for it was, for me, it was £76. We don't pay VATs here, we pay other kinds of taxes. So, but you can find this right now for about £99. This was a bit steep, if you are asking me, because I think that, well, the price I've paid for N-Scale in the past was not that much. Do I regret buying it? Of course not. This is a very, very cute little tank engine. I did not have any British N-Scale tank engine, and yeah, this is going to be a great addition to the collection. And yeah, thanks for Jake again to recommend me. Check out his YouTube channel if you have a chance. And that will be it for today. So, this was Leeway Model. I hope everyone had a very good day, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Leeway Model. In one of my early videos, I did a video about this very model here.